Okay, people, so we're going to take a side break from the K Dot and Drake situation, which, by the way, I'm going to do a video on it, and I'm just going to break everything down. That video will be a long video, by the way, so get ready for it, all right? But nevertheless, let's get into the topics of the day. Breaking news. This just came down the news wire. Several sources are reporting that the NFL Network is going to be letting go of a lot of people. And one of those casualties of war is Michael Irvin. Now, Michael Irvin is a fixture on the NFL Network. NFL Total Access. He was on that show. I think he does some Sunday night games post games for the NFL Network. And they just announced that Michael Irvin will no longer be working for or at the NFL Network, and they're also shutting down NFL Total Access. Now, when I hear the news, I am not shocked nor surprised, and a lot of people are correlating, and I read this in an article, that the main reason why they decided to let go of Michael Irvin because of the Marriott incident, which Michael Irvin was totally, innocent in that, by the way. But it's just the bad press coming from that, even though all those accusations that lady said about Michael Irvin were not true. And Michael Irvin is seeking legal action towards that lady and towards that hotel. And I hope Michael Irvin, gets his day or gets his justice or whatever. But a lot of people are correlating to that, saying, well, the NFL Network is just, they just don't want to deal with that type of press. And if it was only Michael Irvin, I would sort of kind of co-sign to that. But if you look at the NFL Network, and if you understand how they've been moving in the past 3-4 years, and like I said, when COVID started, a lot of these shows and a lot of these, particularly in sports entertainment, there's a lot of shows and there's a lot of networks that are not making money. And when the pandemic hit, you start to see that a lot of these networks are heavily funded, and when the money wasn't there, they pretty much had to defend themselves, so to say. And the NFL Network, now the NFL, it's a money making machine, and if you put NFL on anything, if you stamp it on anything, it is pure gold. Okay, but the only thing that that wasn't true was the NFL Network. Now, and I've said this, I feel like personally, if the NFL Network was exclusively the only place where you can watch NFL games, then that would have benefited the media portion of the NFL Network when you talk about Total Access and all these other shows that they have correlating on that network. But the NFL has been breaking all of their games to the highest bidder, and it just seemed like they forgot about the NFL Network. Now, the NFL Network do have some games, okay, that's on that network, but it's not the best games. And the NFL Network, particularly these last couple of years, they just, as far as a media entity, it's just not a very profitable network. And I do feel like the NFL Network will still exist. I just think they're just going to trim the fat and get rid of a lot of shows that just didn't work. Get rid of a lot of personalities that they have, spent a lot of money on. Some of these personalities will renegotiate their contract and come back at a lower cost. And there's some people like Michael Irvin, he just rather just fade out in the sunset and be let go by the NFL Network, and whatever's remaining on his contract, the NFL Network will have to take care of that. Now, out of all the personalities on the NFL Network, I feel like Michael Irvin. It's not like Michael Irvin had to, he's heavily depending on the NFL Network. Michael Irvin has a lot of things in the on the stove. He still makes money as a personality. He still makes money with the Dallas Cowboys. And he also makes money with Fox Sports 1 with Undisputed, because Undisputed signed Michael Irvin to be the new Undisputed when it was Michael Irvin, Richard Sherman, and Keyshawn Johnson. All right. And I did a video and I told you guys, I feel like they're going to still keep Michael Irvin, but they're only going to use him for these segments to help Skip Bayless when they talk about the Dallas Cowboys. So it'll be someone else there that can back up Skip Bayless instead of Skip Bayless, always getting jumped by Richard Sherman and Keyshawn Johnson. I think they'll use Michael Irvin from as far as that as a component. I don't think you're going to see Michael Irvin every single day on Undisputed. Only on the segments, only on the Dallas Cowboy talk, and some NFL talk. And I talked about in the last video, I really don't see Richard Sherman coming back next season. There's a lot of people that are reporting that Undisputed itself may not come back after their summer break. I still think Fox Sports 1 is going to keep Undisputed, and I think Fox Sports 1 is going to keep Skip Bayless because they done invested so much money in those two entities, and they're just not going to waste money by no longer having Undisputed. And then what you're going to put in that time slot at the end of the day. I mean, are you going to move the Herd, and the Herd's going to be competing with First Take? I think not. Are you going to put First Things First back in the morning and put it on the Undisputed time slot to go up against ESPN First Take? Any show that Fox Sports 1 replace that time slot is going to have the same, it's going to experience the same things that Undisputed is experiencing, as of right now. And, we talked about the low ratings of Undisputed. But as far as Michael Irvin goes, I think he's a main cog with Undisputed. I think he has a healthy relationship, a good relationship, an understanding with Skip Bayless. I think the powers that be like Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin is a likable guy, and he will continue to do that. Who knows? He might segue into Fox Sports, and do their pregame, postgame over there. I don't think he'll be in the booth with in the studio with Terry Bradshaw and Michael Strahan or whatever. But he might be on the sidelines. Okay, so there's a lot of ways, I feel like this is not going to be the last time you're going to see or hear the name Michael Irvin when it comes to football season. Michael Irvin will be good. He'll be good in the hood. Now, as far as the others over there at the NFL Network, that remains to be seen. And like I said, they may come back at a reduced role or renegotiate their contracts. Or, if you got a name, you might move on to maybe ESPN or Fox Sports 1, whatever. But yeah, and I talked about this on my other channel. I just didn't think the NFL Network as a media entity was going to survive, particularly when, and at that time when it was created, you had ESPN, Fox Sports 1, you had NBC Sports, you had CBS Sports, you even had ABC Sports, as well as the other, sports media. It was just way too many sports networks, way too many, and two, I think in order for the NFL Network to succeed or to be at their level, they will have to exclusively also carry those NFL games. And the NFL as a company, they was not going to just put all their games on the NFL Network. That's how they make their bread. That's how they make their money, and that's how they are popular, by spreading the wealth, so to say. to the other networks. Okay, so and that's why you got the Amazon deal. CBS got a deal with the NFL. ABC's got to deal with Monday Night Football with the NFL. ESPN carries some NFL games. Fox Sports carries some NFL games. So they was not going to put all of those games on the NFL Network. And I feel like that's the only way the NFL Network would have survived. Now, does this mean that we will no longer have the NFL Network in the next couple of years? I don't think that to be true. I think they're just going to parlay the NFL Network to the remaining games that the NFL will carry for the NFL Network, and then they'll just make content around those games and also what's going on in the NFL. But when you had and I forgot about this, when you exclusively only talk about one sport and one thing only, I just think the average viewer grows tired of listening to it. The NBA radio or NBA TV. I feel like people come in to watch their favorite personalities talk about what's going on in the NBA world, just like the NFL, and then they just move on to Sports Center or some show that has, when they talk about all sports. All right. And that's another thing that sort of killed the NFL Network, when you only talk about the NFL 24/7. And I feel like the NFL is hot when the NFL is on, when the NFL season is on. But when the NFL season is over, it's not hot. Now, the NBA, there's so much stuff going on in the NBA universe. You don't need the NBA season to make NBA content. Now, yeah, the NFL, they have the NFL draft. They got NFL free agency. They got the Pro Bowl. They got the Super Bowl. I get all that. And how they spread the wealth on that is like a year-long thing. But to me, I think the NFL is hotter when they focus on their live sports events. As far as their original IPs and their original content, I don't think that stuff is hot. I don't think a lot of people gravitate to that stuff. But when you look at the NBA, it's hot all year round. And the summer games, people tune in and watch the summer games. People tune in and watch NBA free agency. People tune in and watch the NBA draft. People tune in for the post game. The playoffs, the finals, the NBA season as a whole, when it's 84 games. All right. So that's a year-long thing, and you can generate content around that year-long thing better than you will with the NFL. But back to Michael Irvin. I hate to, I should have been hopped off that porch about this. But back to Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin gonna be all right. Michael Irvin is still a highly demand media personality. He still got a gig with Fox Sports 1. Who knows? He may parlay, into Fox Sports. He can also do podcasting. He still got he still got irons in the fire with Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. He makes money doing that. So Michael Irvin is not going to be broke or homeless or have to work a 9-to-5 at Denny's or anything like that. Michael Irvin will be fine. Trust me, he will be fine. But life will go on. But as far as the other personalities over there at the NFL Network, they will have to either go to other networks or stay with the NFL network, but at a reduced role and a reduced salary. So that's all I got for this. Guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video. Deuces.